Am I up here? How do we tell? Drop frame 0, Wi-Fi, okay. Nothing in the chat. Seems unusual, nobody there. Okay, what's, oh, here we are. Okay, that's my only way to tell that we're up and running is when somebody makes a comment, you know, so when it's silent I have no idea. I was thinking it was broken. Good morning, good morning. Here we are again. Same place, same time, same station, same job, same block, same brush, same pigment. A printer's life. It's getting to the point where when you turn on this stream, you can tell how our order book has been going. Obviously, it's more owls, owls, owls. Morning, Dave. Evening, Dave. Another beautiful day in Tokyo today. Bright sunshine, sky, clear autumn air. It's been a long time coming, but here it is at last. Beautiful autumn is here. The owl flood continues, yes indeed. We're keeping up to it. Most of them have gone now with the orders. Most of the orders that have come in have gone. Not the ones from yesterday and the day before, but it's Monday here, so the orders from the last 2 days, of course, have been, post office has been closed, but we're keeping on top of it in terms of quantity made versus quantities ordered. So. Of course, this is the first, I don't know, where am I? I don't know where the camera is today. It's the same as yesterday. This is the first background tone. We're going to do it in a double pass to give it a good deep richness. We can do it in one, but the risk of getting stray marks or dots or blots is large. So doing it lightly twice is much more likely to end up with a good result. It's twice as long for this particular impression, but the number of rejected prints is much lower. So. So it is. So we put it on the stream. The stream people order more, and because they've ordered more, we have to make some more. So we put it on the stream the next day. Because it's on the stream, people order more. Are we in a vicious circle here that's never going to end? Well, it'll end tomorrow because tomorrow's Tuesday. I won't be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Ome Day. Taking Cameron out to Ome to meet the staff out there. Field trip, is that what it is? I guess so. It's going to be a surprise for him too to learn how just far away these things are. He lives out in Ibaraki Prefecture, northeast of Tokyo. It sounds like a long way. He lives in a different prefecture, but it's not so bad. He's got about a 30-minute commute. Excuse me. He picked a place to live that was an easy commute to our Asakusa shop, so that's not a problem day by day. But my house in Ome is on the other side of Tokyo, on the west side, 2.5 hours out. So for him on Tuesday, he's got to get in here first, a half an hour, 40 minutes from his home, and then out we go to the west, 2.5 hours. So we're going to spend like 7 hours commuting tomorrow. Which is, of course, why I don't commute from Ome on a day-by-day basis. I crash here at the shop, of course. How long do you need to go all the way across Tokyo side? It depends on what you count as Tokyo. I know Tokyo's a funny thing, you know. I live in Ome, which is in Tokyo. It's a legal entity. It's a legal city in the prefecture of Tokyo. Tokyo is not a city. Tokyo is a prefecture, like from an American point of view, a state. So Tokyo is a state. I live in Ome City, which is part of Tokyo, and from here in Asakusa, it's about 2.5 hours out to get to Ome. But Tokyo then continues on past Ome, at least as far again as I've got there. Tokyo is a big, big, big thing. So the question as it stands, how long does it take to get across Tokyo? I don't know. It's kind of a meaningless question as it stands there. Yeah, the wax paper, it's not wax paper, it's kind of a silicone paper. But yes, the paper is very thin and delicate. And it's a bit of a paradox. I need a good strong baron. This is on quite strong bumps. Where am I with the camera? It's quite strong bumps. And they will leave striation marks in the paper because the paper is so thin. So the backing paper helps me protect the paper. maybe if this barn had a clean, smooth cover, you can see it's starting to wear down a bit. Maybe you can't see, I don't know. If I get the light just right. No, can't do it, but so anyway, it's starting to wear out the cover, which means it's in real danger of scratching the paper. So I probably should have retied it before starting this morning, but it was a choice, laundry or preparation for this. Laundry won. Oops. Étonné. I'm wiping away. Why not just carve it? Can't be done. I know. I'm wiping away actually. Another order. That reminds me actually, the order there that's in the box. I know there were 3 or 4 orders yesterday during this course of the stream. I have no idea what they're for at this point. But it turned out that once I was checking the order box later on after finishing the stream, 3 or 4 of the orders that had come in during the stream were for my ebook. So I guess people were chatting about it in the stream. So people were heading over to the order page and buying the ebook. So thank you very much, gang. I'm really pleased to hear that lots of people are interested in trying this. Whatever, how many people who are interested end up trying it, I don't know, but at least it's in the right direction. So. It gets more and more like Bob Ross, doesn't it? Watch the video, buy the book, go to the website, order the tools. We don't have that yet, but maybe we should, Build an empire like Bob Ross did. Anyway, about the wiping here, we can't carve that stuff down deeper because I actually have to, the paper's supported by it. If there's 2 trenches there that are really deep, I can't get the paper in there. So there has to be a base for that little trench for the paper to sit on. And for this particular impression, because the color comes right close to the corner, we've got that inevitable place where the wood gets, dirty. So I'm wiping it away. One of our other printers, Suga-san, and Ishikawa-san actually too, they've got tools. What they do is Suga-san's got a little spoon, or Ishikawa-san's got a little spoon I made for it. It's a spoon with a corner cut out. She puts it here. Whatever, for me it's just easier this way. And a lot of the printers in town, I know, people who saw that last David's Choice video talking about those Kagurazaka prints. The Doi Hanga company has sent that block out now to the printer in town called Itakura-san. And he doesn't give a shit about this stuff. He just rubs pigment all across it, splashes it on, and the corners of his prints are filthy. His point of view is, too bad, it's a Woodblock print, that's what you get. We're trying to be just a little bit, what can I say, neater and cleaner. I like this. This is nice. It's going to be deeper than this. We're going to get more saturation when I put the second color on. Are we promoting the ebook again, are we? Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Boots the cat is gone. She passed away, oh, it's quite a long time ago now. I know. 2011 or 2012, somewhere on there, she's gone. So we stopped actively using Boots for things like that. She was a good friend for many, many years. Very good friend. Wonderful, wonderful cat. You know. She's long gone now, so. There are many stories about Boots Chan over on the Story Week website. They're all marked with her icon, the cat icon head in the index on the Story Week website. So lots of stories about Boots Chan. Back when the webcam over there, this is more 10, 15 years ago, I used to have a webcam that it wasn't full video because the net wasn't there back in that time. It was a webcam in the sense of a photograph every 5 or 6 or 7 seconds. There was a camera here taking a click and putting it up on the internet. So people could watch me work, you know, one new shot every 8 seconds or so. And people used to watch it. I can't believe it now, but people used to watch it. And Boots would come and visit my workshop sometimes. So we had a Catch Boots contest running all the time on the webcam. You know, Boots would come up and sit for a second, and the camera might catch her, and then she'd go and sleep or something. So people would watch this webcam stream, and Boots would appear here and then not be there in the next picture, you know. And we had a webcam contest. You know, take a screenshot with Boots, send it to me, get a free Woodblock print. I did this for ages. You know, people used to watch and sit there with their fingers poised over the keys, I guess, I don't know, waiting for Boots to show up, you know. And she was very reliable. She came lots. So it was a worthwhile thing to do. But where's Boots? She had fans. That gentleman you heard in the stream here yesterday from Holland, Jacques Commandeur, was it yesterday? 2 days ago he was here? He was a real Boots fan. He was really saddened when she died too. We misnamed her, you know. She had a Japanese name. I forget what it was. It wasn't our cat. It was a neighbor's cat. They had a name for her. I don't even know what it was. But when she came to us, it was a black cat with a couple of white marks on the face and then white feet. You know, it's a common pattern. Black cat with white feet. And in a fit of lack of imagination, we tagged her with the name Boots. You know, she had these little white boots. And my God, that was such a lack of imagination. There's a much better name when you think of Japanese/English. There's a much better name for a cat that has little white feet. I must have been brain dead that I didn't think of it when we first saw her. Just to sort of drop it on you for a few minutes, those of you who know something about some Japanese vocabulary, think white feet. And a word that makes sense in Japanese and in English for a cat name. And I was brain dead that I didn't think of it. The ebook for iPad, yeah, I'm sorry, I built it before the iPad existed, you know, as we mentioned yesterday. So it's the media parts of it are based on Flash. So we all know what happens to that on the iPad. So yeah, it's a question of time, you know, whatever. The content is there, so it's just a question of reflowing it and reorganizing it for a new device. Just a question of time, of course, you know. So. But that book looks so good. Get on a big desktop computer, like a modern iMac or something. Open the PDF file in Reader, blow it up full screen, and oh my God, what a wonderful book it is. You know. The video plays, the audio plays on this wonderful full screen environment. It's easy to read, wide spreads. It doesn't reflow like it would if it was an ebook on an EPUB format or something like that. It's all laid out. Socks is close, but think Japanese. Think Japanese. Think a lady in kimono, white things on her feet. Tabi, of course. Tabi, the Japanese name for those white sock-like things that women wear. And tabi is, of course, an English word that means cat. She should have just been called Tabi. Kitten mittens, yeah, okay, whatever. She wasn't a kitten for very long though, actually, so whatever. Yeah, she should have been Tabi. I keep forgetting where the camera is to show stuff. Do I listen to music? No, not anymore. I'm sorry. My life is just these benches and this office and this room, you know. Never. Before I opened the Asakusa shop, we've talked about this before, you know. In my workroom in Ome, I was living in a 4-story concrete building. Well, the bottom 2 stories were concrete. My workroom was down by the river, concrete structure, no neighbors within audible distance. So I have, it's over there still sleeping, a pretty nice sound system, bass woofer and all that sort of stuff and everything. And in the days before the internet, I had what's called Ustream. I contracted with one of those companies that runs a cable to your house and delivers, I don't know, channels of music and stuff before the internet. And I used to listen to all kinds of stuff with one proviso. Again, we talked about this before. When you're doing this kind of work that I'm doing today, you can't have it with a heavy beat, because it interferes with the actual, this boom, 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 boom. You can't work with a beat, and yet when there's a beat, it disturbs what you're trying to do. So anything I was listening to was more generic, so it wasn't a lot of pop. I mean, pop rock, in the sense of, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, whatever. Not my taste anyway these days, I guess. When I was younger, whatever. Where'd that dot come from? The Yoshitoshi, Kuniyoshi. I don't see any space in our life now for making reproductions like that. It would be a fun project. Some people would like it. But it's just so gigantic, Just gigantic. To make that again in that Oban size would be a stunningly difficult project, just to get blocks like that these days, to get paper like that these days. And the number of impressions and colors, the carving, the printing, the print would have to be whatever, well over $1,000 for the triptych. And who would be able to afford it? It's just not something that's really economic anymore, It worked back when craftsmen were paid nothing, next to nothing, or when there was such high demand for that particular project that the economics balanced. But nowadays, no, The new prints we're making in a genre like the Heroes, it balances pretty much just, but they're smaller scale. The production costs are smaller as a result. And these things just are so intensely hand laborious that they could only come out of a culture like, pre-modern Japan, that was like a third world culture, labor-wise, Yeah, that video back in Ome showing the women working, I think we were playing a channel of light Latin jazz, I think. So it's a bit, what's the word, bloody, 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 blood. Doesn't interfere with anybody, working like this, Christmas music, what? Still can't tell which is front, which is back. It's very, very difficult on some of these sheets. Next group, I've got on in groups. I think it's 4 groups of 10. I'm not sure. I didn't count very carefully. So I'm going to go through the whole deck twice. Now that's halfway through the deck for the first color. I'll keep going now. What was I going to do? Oh yeah. This is not on one of my barons, it's the shop barons. Ayumi-san's tied it the way that she likes. And to me, I really don't like this at all. For my standards, this should be much tighter. She should have taken these two things and tied them much tighter together. It's her standard, not complaining. But the problem is, because it's loose like this now, this thing pops up. And I grab it up with my left hand. I don't know if you can see, we've got a dot developing here. And if I was going to be doing this every day, there's no way I could use this tool. If I was doing it every day, like I'm doing it every day. But if this was my tool on my bench. That's one of the problems with a shared workshop, where the tools get shared together, I think back to the good old days when I was just by myself and all the tools were my tools and they were done the way I liked it, and can't be helped. That's So I have no more tools anymore for printing. They all came here to be used. Well, they were split up with the Ome staff and the Asakusa staff. So I have no personal tools anymore at all. They've all been, what's the word, communized? I don't know. They're communal tools now for the group. So it's a bit sad. My carving tools are okay because nobody else does that. But all my printing tools now have become group tools. That was a bit, not painful, that's the wrong word, but it was a bit sad. Actually, the question transfer bot there, that is very much under discussion. And at the moment, I said no. I know, it's easy to do. Anything with a question mark on it in the chat, the bot reads it, throws it to my inbox, and bang, it bings, and away we go. The problem is my email box would be binging, binging, binging every few minutes. And, I am, kind of at work. And today's a bit different because I'm printing, I can read the chat. But when I'm carving, as you know, I don't read the chat. Can't. And an occasional question coming into the box is okay. But if it's a stream of questions, every 5 minutes my mail checks and finds a question, I am at work, and it's, So I'm not actually going to make it real easy for sending questions here. We've got our system, which is there, and most people know about it now. But if we make it too easy, then it's chaos for me, Today it's cool because I'm doing a very easy printing job, and it's easy to look over here at the stream and I can chat while doing it, but it's not always like that. If I was doing the key block, I really wouldn't want to be doing it this way. So no, I'm not going to make it too easy for questions. The other down thing about the questions is, as regular viewers know, we've got an awful lot of repetition in the questions, and it's not really clear how to deal with that sometimes. So many new viewers asking the same things. So when it's a repeat question, I think I should just start to keep quiet myself and let other people in the chat, step in and answer them. Trying to find a balance there. Donations, yeah, please. There is a bot being built. There's one in development. I know. So you can see it there. And I think there's a command to ask it what commands there are. I know. I'm not building it, so I'm sorry. I don't know the dirty details about it. I know. What is it? Exclamation mark questions tells it. I'm not sure about the other commands. I'm sorry. Exclamation mark. There you go. You got it. Somebody's found it. Okay, I'll leave you alone. We had a very rare incident here last night, and there was chaos in the street outside. It was the last day of a long weekend. And usually, I mean, there's a bar district next door. The next street is Hoppidori, one of Tokyo's most famous and interesting bar streets. It's a street of outdoor bars and yatai and stuff like this. And usually it's okay. People, they start to close up 10:30, 11. People go home, head for the station, no problem. But last night, whether it was because of the long weekend or not, I don't know. There was a group of 6 kids, and they were drunk beyond belief. And just at the time I'm going to bed, about 11 o'clock or something, they congregated outside the building here, and they decided to start taking the town apart. They started smashing stuff, starting with the bicycles and some traffic cones, you know. A bunch of total hooligans. It's really, really rare to see this here in Japan. And they're pissing in the doorway and stuff like this, you know. So one of the neighbors, whatever, must have called called the cops, and they all came on their bicycles from like the nearby stations. There's a Koban at the end of the street and another one a few blocks over. So cops jump on their bicycles and come zooming over. And like 10, 15 minutes later, there's these 6 raucous drunks who are now fighting with each other, rolling in the street. And there's 6, 7, 8 cops all around, you know. No, they're Japanese. No, not foreigners, just locals, just drunk kids, you know. And from my point of view, this sort of should be so simple to handle. You roll up a paddy wagon, roll them in the back, and that's it. Throw them in the drunk tank, and in the morning sort it all out. But they don't do that here in Japan. And the 6 or 7 or 8 cops try to talk to these people and try and say, look, settle down, settle down. There's no violence. There's no cop pulls out their guns or something. It doesn't exist here like that. No. But I'm like, you can't talk to these people. They're totally out of their head drunk. Just throw them in the clink overnight, you know. And they don't do that. They try and reason with them, you know. It just went on and on and on and on. A dot there, that might be, I'm not sure if it's chitty bark in the paper, I think, yeah. Have to try and excise it under my microscope once we're done. Underage drinking? I really don't know. I'm not the guy to ask, you know. I don't have much contact with children and you know, schoolers these days. I don't really know. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be the best guy to ask. Ask one of the language teachers who's working in schools here, you know, and he'd be able to tell you much more about, you know, how kids are behaving with that sort of thing. I really don't know. I'm sorry. I'd just be rattling off about something I know nothing about. So we got some real basic questions here. What am I doing? Nay. Let me see if I can find the master copy. Where is one? Up here somewhere. Hi. Here's a sample of the thing we are making. This is one of the test prints, the finished versions. It requires background color, brown color, sepia color, green, a couple of other different colors. Each one is printed from a different block. Just for a random example here, here's one of the other blocks. This is the block for the owl's dark color. This is the block for the owl's sepia color. We've got a set of different blocks ready here. And what I'm doing now is I'm printing stage 1, the base color of the background color. There's a corner mark and a line, corner and line, to get the paper lined up. We don't use printing presses in traditional work here in Japan. This is a pad which has got strong dots in it, and it applies pressure all across. That was just to protect the paper. Peel it off, and the carved shape on there has now been reproduced in color on the paper. That's step 1, 5 more to go. That's what this is all about. There's lots of other videos here on this channel and also on our YouTube channel that show different stages. Carving, different stuff, interviews with the people doing it, images of the prints. So if you're curious, poke around on the YouTube channel. Lots of stuff to see. I think I detect noise from downstairs. Question in email. Did I not hear a sound? Okay, hang on a second. If there's no official question, sorry if I've missed it. The male sounds that I get actually are pretty low. There is indeed a question here. Sorry to miss it. Boy, big question. Half an hour to answer. Not half an hour to answer. No, a year to answer. The gentleman is asking, why are these so expensive? Tell you what, let me just take a moment there. Let me find a website that's got pictures that I can show. Hang on a second. Rather than try to talk. The big rat is probably back downstairs. Just a moment. Let me take a break here. Do a Google search. Okay, there's this website, but what about pictures about how the Baron is made? Eitone. Yeah, there it is. This is his website. Hang on a second. Let me pop it into the thread. This is the website. It's Japanese, but it's got pictures. This is the website of the guy who makes the tools. It's Kikuhide is his workshop name. His name is Goto, Mr. Goto. That's his website, and there's lots and lots of stuff buried in there. But if you just scroll down that front page, you'll see various little pictures and illustrations of bits of part of the work. And you can see some things like they're winding with bits of strips of bamboo. They're winding the coil that goes inside here. And the backing sheet is laid up with many, 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 many sheets of paper. It's a long, 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 complex process. So just, anyway, for a first step, take a look at some of the pictures on that site. I'm not trying to just blow you away, just it's a long, long, complicated process. There are modern people making things like plastic barons or metal ones, and they're okay for those people. For the kind of work we like to do, we really would like to use the traditional baron. It makes a real difference. Although modern people just laugh at us, use a plastic one. Yeah. I keep having trouble with the stuff here. Of course, this is not my bench. I'm a lefty sitting at a right-hander's workbench. I've got stuff switched around and it's not working and whatever. Can't be helped. Okay, fourth group. No idea which is the front. Is there a difference in larger? For us, it's not larger and smaller. The difference is, that page I just referenced, if you look at the coil there, that they've wound a coil with bamboo fiber, that coil can be made with fewer, stronger dots or more multiple, smaller dots. And that gives us a different action. Fewer, larger dots means power, but it leaves lines. Smaller, finer dots means less power, but it covers the area better. For background color like this, I'm using the fewer, larger dots. If I was printing the delicate key lines, I need more smaller dots. So the way they're built and wound inside is the difference. It's nothing to do with the size. Most of our barons are pretty much the same size, 11 or 12 centimeters. 12 or 13 centimeters, I guess. There's a huge range variation. For beginners, it's not something to worry about. Now, you can't spend $1,200 on the thing, nor is it necessary to. For us, we're willing to spend that kind of money because it makes all the difference in the world to us. But for a beginner, don't get scared off by those prices. $1,200 for one of these. What? You don't need that one at the beginning. Absolutely, you don't need it. You wouldn't even know how to take care of it. The knives, I can't give you a link like that for the knives because we don't buy knives as a whole, we buy blades. We buy replacement blades for our stuff, for our cutting tools. So there's no knife shop that I can send you to. It's just a maker we found. Who will still make them for us, and we're hoping at some point, I don't know, I shouldn't even talk about it because it's a sleeping project. We really want to put knives on the market in our shop, but we started it up and the project got bogged down and we ran out of money. I think it's still there. If you mokuhankan.com/knives.html is an introduction to what we were trying to do 5 years ago. and we should think about trying to pick it up. Mokuhankan.com/knives.html. But I shouldn't even link to it because it's not happening right now. I don't know when it'll be happening. So we just don't have the labor. And they're back at it outside again, starting at 9 o'clock. That's unusual. Someone's asking about sugar prints. Well, I don't know about a collection, but there is one on the way in production. It's on my bench downstairs. It keeps getting postponed by other projects, but yes, we have a sugar print in production at the moment. If you don't know about it, you can find the website at one word, The Octopus Print, all one word, theoctopusprint.com is our first sugar reproduction. Not quite sure when it'll be ready. Too many streaks there, look at that, see that? A bit too much paste. Or a bit too careless in wiping it out, one or the other. Hopefully the streaks will be counteracted by the other direction when I do the second layer. As I mentioned, tomorrow, Tuesday, is Ome Day. Now, we're going to Ome tomorrow. There'll be no stream, of course. There never is on Tuesdays. But one of the things on my list of things to do in Ome tomorrow is to dig down in the basement and dig up some old wood blocks. Wood blocks that I got, oh, I don't know, X years ago. Because it's a story. And what we're thinking of, it's time for another YouTube video. It's always time for a YouTube video, but I mean, it's really time. It's overdue. And what I'm going to try, I think, I perhaps shouldn't talk about it because it might not happen, I don't know. I've got an idea that the next YouTube video should be one of those story videos. We talked about Ito-san, the carver, and people have enjoyed that video. And then I talked about the Kuchie, and people enjoyed that. So it's time for another one. So what I think I'll do is I'll hunt up some stuff in the basement over there, some old wood blocks. and either shoot some video there or bring them back to Asakusa and sit down and try and do another one of those story videos. I don't know if I can make it happen or not. I don't know. That original video, the one about visiting the carver, it wasn't planned. I just sit down to chat for a while. If you plan too much and think too much, it's difficult to get a nice natural result. But, the bowls, I'm sorry, so no, it's on a rice paste in one and pigment in the other. So dab of rice paste on the block. Pigment, I'm almost out of it here. Gotta make some more. Make the pigment. There's nothing to say about it. This is Aimi-san's desk. She's got bowls. This is powder, just powder pigment. We've ground it already on a plate. Ground it really fine. It's powder, just with water. And there's absolutely nothing else. Where's the camera? Powder mixed with water. And we've got some, 5 or 6 or 7 basic colors, basic tones. The one I'm using here, it's maybe the first blue, Prussian blue I put in, then I put a bit of, what did I put in? I don't remember. Prussian blue put in, then I put a bit of, black, carbon black, normal sumi pigment. Can you see it on the edge of the bowl there, the color, the tint that turns out? So there's nothing magical about this. It's just powder pigments in water. We couldn't print by itself. So the paste goes on the block to help this whole thing turn into a sort of a gentle cream. And that's what gets pushed into the fibers of the paper. There's nothing mystical, magical, whatever. The keen point about it is that we've got, what have we got? We've got Prussian blue, we've got what's called kimbero, an old indigo. We've got Prussian blue, kinbero, then we've got indigo. So we've got a sort of a cool blue and a warm blue. Then we've got the red called honyoko. It's like a carmine type red. Then we've got a warmer red, bengara. Then we've got a basic yellow. We can't get good yellow anymore. We've got a basic lemon yellow, which we use for other stuff. And what have we got? A vermilion, that's 6. And then the black, the carbon black. And that's all we've got. We don't buy anything else. We don't buy green. We don't buy purple. We don't buy anything else. From those basic 6 or 7 pigments, we mix everything else. It's the printer's pride. We don't, those guys, they do Nihonga painting, the Japanese painters. They go into their pigment shop and the walls and racks are full of different greens and different purples and all that stuff. God knows what's mixed in with them. We don't do that. We have our basic set of fundamental tones and everything else we make. And that's the way it's been done in all the ukiyo-e times. Printers make the colors, create them. They don't buy them. It's one of the key points about this job, this traditional printmaker's job. Beginners, whatever, I know. The easiest way for someone who's trying to do this sort of thing, woodblock printmaking in the Japanese style, the absolute easiest way is just get watercolor pigments in tubes, watercolor tubes. They will work fine, absolutely. Get the watercolor pigment in a tube, put it in there. If you want to mix colors, squeeze something else in, mix them together. That works fine. We don't do it that way because there's too many binders and stuff in there. They've almost always got some white mixed in. When you get that tube and it's pink, the way they've done it, they've mixed red and white. And we don't do that. For us, white is the white paper. But for beginners, for people exploring this, watercolor pigments. Clean and simple and easy. Good morning, Mr. BYU. How you doing?
Great.
I heard some sound down there. I thought it might be you. So.
Yep. The big rats.
Oh, don't. Let's kill that meme right now. I mean, this is not something we want to. I was thinking you were staying downstairs to make this not happen, you know. Okay. So let's try and kill that one. It could go on for decades, and I don't think it's what we want. So.
I'll make sure I don't mess up the stream. Just wanted to say good morning.
Yeah, okay, so it'll be me and Kawai-san and Doi-san today. I know party reservations are light. We've clearly passed the peak now of the autumn thing.
Well, we can get all the other things done then.
Hopefully, I mean, still.
Make progress.
Have you looked at the sales? It's still just whatever. And I'm still here printing owls. Why am I printing owls? Because it's a vicious circle. We talked about this on the stream yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm talking about the owls. I linked to the webpage. While I'm doing this, bing, 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 orders come in. So it means I got to go back the next day. So I'm back here printing yesterday's orders today. And what happens? We talk about it. Orders come in. Bing, bing. It's a vicious circle. So we've got to stop Twitch. You know.
Don't send any more links.
So, actually, I think the biggest batch of orders came. Jed hit us. He sent the owl page to his personal email list or something. It's like 25,000 people or something, and it made a big difference. So, so next time you see him, we have to say thank you.
Thanks, or what are you thinking? Too many.
Whatever. So.
Okay. Wow, more owls.
More owls. So we can't stop the owls. So I'm here. I'm a perpetual motion machine of owl prints. So it's okay. Soon it'll be dead because the post office deadlines. I forget what it is. I have to check them out. Like for mailing to North America, guaranteed by December 25th, it'll be something like December the 7th or something. It's really, really early.
Wow.
So we'll put that on the website soon, and that's it. That'll choke it off.
Yeah.
So.
I don't want to dry up your paper or
Is somebody working? Can I send you some pictures of my blocks? Yeah, like somebody's saying, I think there's a place to do this. So yeah, but if you do that also, I'm not seeing that sort of every day. I don't see that sort of stuff. So if you do post your pictures somewhere like this, send me an email. Go to one of our contact forms or whatever, or send me a link in one of these threads or somewhere so I can have a look at them. It's fun. I'm always eager to hear when people are trying this. You know, I'm not going to laugh at you. It's great. Let's just go for this. I'm always happy to see what people are doing with this. I'm not sure the question. Are people poking on deadlines for commissions? I must have missed something, I guess. I'm sorry, I don't know. the lifetime of this block is going to last. This block will still be here being printed long after I'm gone. The kind of work we're doing on it here involves next to no wear and tear at all. This block is good for many, many, many tens of thousands of impressions. Literally. I'm going to be addressing this soon. I shouldn't say soon. I'm going to be addressing this. The Great Wave set of videos, there's 15 videos in that set. And I have a plan now for number 16, because people have been asking me, is the Great Wave block worn out now? You've made nearly 1,000 copies of it. It must be finished. I don't want to buy a worn out piece of paper, piece of print, you know. And that block is just getting started, but I need to make a video about this. Zoom in on the block, show where it's worn, where it's not worn, compare print number 1 with print number 1,000 and show you that you can't tell the difference. Wear and tear is really not a factor on a block like this. Where blocks wear is that, you know, the edges is a carved area down. So those two edges where the brush hits, are the areas that tend to wear out. So key blocks where everything is an edge sort of wear out first. But a color block like this, the only edge is around the border of that thing. There's no wear and tear, there's nothing. There's no wear from the barren on the top surface of it. Literally, this thing will be in business long after I'm gone. I'm the first printer who's used it. This will be a bestseller in our shop for decades to come, long after I'm planted 6 feet under. The deadline thing. We were talking with Cameron. I was talking about the Christmas mailing. I know people are buying these owl prints, a lot of people, for gifts for Christmas. And we're in Japan, and they're in maybe England or America or somewhere. And the post office here publishes a set of mailing deadlines. It varies per country. And it'll say you must mail by December 7th for guaranteed delivery in America by December 25th, or whatever. I'm making up the number. I don't know what it is. And that's the point when orders from our web shop collapse, of course. And that'll be happening, it'll be starting to happen in the last week of November or so. I'm sorry if it's confusing. That's what I meant by the deadlines. I'm sorry. Dig me up. We won't need to, you know. We've got 3 other carvers working here now. John-san, Kawasaki-san, and Yumi-san. There's 3 carvers. All the new boss fights, you know, I'm not carving them. They're all being done by our new young staff carvers. We're looking good for carvers. We're looking better for carvers than we are for printers. It's a switch from where we were a couple of years ago. We had a bunch of printers on hand and no carvers. We were thinking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Okay, now here, I finished the first. There's 40 sheets here. I finished the first. I'm not going to flip over now, back to the beginning. And now I'm going to do the second. Excuse me, I still got a catch in my throat there, you know. And if you notice, I'm going to wipe a different way. I'm going to wipe downhill. Change the angle. For the first impression, I wiped up. Second impression, I wiped down. A tiny difference in those angles will make sure that there's no lines left in the block, lines left on the print. So here we go. It's got one light tint on it, and now we're going to saturate it. Lighter pressure this time. There we go, all ready. Now Ayumi-san's going to come in later today and she'll start with the key block and the colors. And she'll probably have the first 40 finished tonight so we can send them to Ome tomorrow ready for shipping. It really is cool, you know. I'm doing this today. She'll be doing the key block. Tonight they'll be dried. Tomorrow I take them to Ome. They'll go into the stack. Some of them will actually be shipped tomorrow from Ome. We're right on the edge of our deadlines here. So orders that came in over the weekend, they will be for these prints and they'll be shipped Tuesday afternoon. Talk about fresh baked goods. God, look at all these comments. I can't keep track of it all. I'm sorry. Nice name. That is a question there. Hi, just a minute. I hear the chunk sound. Very happy with this. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, nice sky background. What's the question? What block? Somebody's asking, can a block continuously printed last forever? Well, no. I mean, at the end of the day, these are pieces of wood, and every time the brush hits, it is, you know, taking molecules away or whatever. So they do wear, you know. My point earlier with this one is that the points of wear just around the edge are very, very few. And there's going to be no discernible wear, but it's not forever. I mean, it is a piece of wood and we are smashing it up. So yes, it will eventually wear out. But it will make tens and tens and tens of thousands before it does, you know. And it only took me, like this block, how long did it take me to carve this one? An hour, a couple of hours, minutes, I don't know. So if this block did start to wear, whoever's working for us at that time, just whatever, slap down, get a copy of the print, moisten it, slap it down, glue it down to a new piece of wood, cut the same area, and you're up and running again, you know. in our print party room now downstairs, you saw me a couple of weeks ago. People are watching this Twitch stream maybe 2 weeks ago. I was recutting one of the blocks for our print party image because the color blocks there are under X. The color blocks there are under extreme wear and tear. People are smashing, bashing too hard. They're wet all day long. So we just cut another one, you know. Day's work, a few hours work, we're up and running again. Jed's on this morning. Hello, Jed-san, coming on board. Jed has mixed feelings here, seeing what I'm doing here. Half of him says, no, why isn't he working on the next subscription print for next year, which is what I'm supposed to be doing today, this week. But the other half of Jed is saying, wow, look at this, Dave's printing more owls. And Jed helped us last week by sending the owl information to his own personal mailing list. And from there, a ton of people, of course, ordered. That's why I'm sitting here making owls. Jed, lay off. Here we go. As somebody said earlier, I'm a perpetual motion owl making machine here now. Somebody also suggested, on here in Asakusa, there's 3 owl cafes within 100 meters of where I am right now. And somebody suggested, take this print out there and try and sell it to those people. And yeah, maybe one day. Right now we can't do that. So. I guess this is all Harry Potter, is it? Henry Potter, what's the guy's name? The original design destroyed by the process. Yes and no. There's no Photoshop back in the old days, but what would happen is the artist would start sketching and sketch some more and do a bit better job and do a bit better job, and gradually the thing would come together bit by bit, being copied and traced and copied and traced. And depending on the job that was waiting, either in the publisher's house or in the artist's own workshop. He's got apprentices who are, know what he's doing. They will trace. They will take those sketches and plans, take another sheet of paper and trace it for pasting down. So even though they didn't have copy machines, they had copyists. People were very good at this sort of stuff, tracing and drawing. But once that was made, that drawing made with a brush gets pasted on the block, and of course it's destroyed in the process of carving. So. We're getting time here, guys. I think it's, what is it? There's 1, 2, 3 sheets left in this batch here. Then I got to get downstairs. It's Monday, and me and Kawai-san are the party hosts today. None of the girls are in today. We had a long weekend, so we had extra staff during the weekend, and now they've all gone away. So it's me and Kawai-san today. So I am needed downstairs soon. So I'll do these last couple of sheets and then head off. And the usual schedule, tomorrow is Tuesday here. There's no streams on Tuesday. We're out in Ome tomorrow. We're taking Cameron to meet the Ome staff. And I've got a ton of backlog jobs out there to do anyway. Those 2 sheets. 1, 2. Okay. Hi. So no stream Tuesday, Tokyo time. We'll be back at it Wednesday, and I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I may be back here making more owl backgrounds. Or I may be down at my carving bench finishing the key blocks for the New Year's print. There's 1 left. Or I may be at my carving bench working on the first print in next year's subscription series, which is what Jed really wants to see. This isn't wax paper, it's a silicone coated paper. Slippery. No. Kind of a silicone sheet. There's no front and back, it's the same. And it's thin, 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 thin. If it was too thick, it would take away the pressure of the Baron tool. What's the question? How much more expensive will the prints be compared to the Kickstarter? They shouldn't be more expensive at all, I don't think. Jed is the guy to talk to about stuff like this. He's got all the prints on his website. We don't sell them here from my website. All the Heroes prints go from Jed's website. And as I get the production closer and closer and closer to being finished, he'll have the prints there. And I don't believe they're going to be much more expensive at all. Our policy has always been the same, try and keep them reasonable for everybody, But check with ukiyo-e-heroes.com to see stuff like that. Okay, here we go. The last sheet this morning here. It's been a good morning's work. Aimi-san's going to come in now around 10:30 or so, and she will pick up these sheets that I finished and start printing the key block on them. Will the octopus print be ready in 2018? I sure hope so. I can't give you a date on that because it's the one job that just gets pushed back by other jobs with higher priority. But absolutely, I intend to get it going, the octopus print. Right now, from here to the next month or so, I'm busy with these priority jobs. And if Cameron gets his work done well, keeping me away from the computer, get more time on the bench, and yes, the octopus print is my own top priority. So yeah, it's coming. Please, just stand by. Okay, that's it. As I said, no stream tomorrow, Tuesday. We're in Ome. I'll be back here Wednesday, same time, same place. Maybe down on the second floor, maybe here. I don't know. And for now, I've got to get to work in the shop. Print parties await. Thank you very much, gang. Thanks for watching. See you. Oh, I need my glasses to do this. See you next time. Thank you. Camera off. Hot mic. Oh, questions. Mystique of the Japanese print. Whatever. Later. I gotta go. Thanks, guys. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.